Site Talks.
Yay! Good
Hmm.
here.
Yeah, good to be here too.
Eh,
Um, we've been away for a few weeks, had some vacationing going on,
we even got to see each other in person.
which is so awesome. That was so great.
Yeah, it was really
Yeah,
nice.
it was a nice few days.
Yeah.
Um, all right. Well, today we are revisiting our very first video and our very first topic.
Hmm.
We're going to talk about quantum healing and the five bodies and do a little bit of a review and a revisit um, of some of the fundamentals of all the things that we've been talking about over the last several months. And so, yeah,
Yeah.
let's begin. Let's begin with what is um, quantum healing energy, quantum energy healing. What is that?
Yeah. Quantum medicine. So, quantum medicine is the understanding that all things are connected. Um, all things are basically made of energy, that we are connected to each other, that energy is non local, that we are entangled with one another, um, and that there is no one thing um, higher than the other, right? So everything is
Mm-hmm.
coupled. We are. Um, yeah, so non-local, there's three basic principles of non-locality, right? So energy is non-local.
Mm-hmm.
um, Tangled hierarchy, meaning that we're entangled with each other and there's no like coach, client, or doctor, patient. Um, we're all parts of each other.
Mm-hmm.
And um, non locality, tangled hierarchy, and um,
You're
I'm
blanking.
blank.
I don't know.
Um,
Okay, so non-locality.
it will come to me. But basically, that the things that we are, the way in which we are, is based in energy, right? So
Mm-hmm.
energy and consciousness is what we how we exist. So it's energy first, consciousness, and then physical matter. So
Mm-hmm.
the world is really how the world is created through our
Mm-hmm.
rather than the world is here first and that's how we see it because it's here. um, that's basically the idea of quantum medicine. And
Cool.
so bring that into looking at physical healing and working with people who are um, having physical problems or ailments and diseases. We're looking at the consciousness first. We're looking at the um, we're looking at what's happening energetically in
Mm-hmm.
that person's mind and energetic plane, and then how is that coming into physical form.
Right, and physical manifestation. And what I also hear you talking about is this, like, there is no separation, right? There's no separation between one and the other. Some of those things are, have been constructed in order to create some kind of structure. But ultimately, in reality, there is no separation. And so by paying attention to energetic patterns, and energetic vibrations, then, folks can kind of dig deeper into um, opportunities to heal. So, which leads us very nicely into the five bodies of quantum medicine. So, let's talk about those because it's like because through those 5 bodies is how something manifests within the physical plane and
Mhm.
within our bodies.
Yeah. So in our first video, we put some visuals for this. So I'll link to those visuals in the description of this episode. Because we're doing a live, I can't put it in. But in quantum medicine, we look at 5 bodies, like you said. We have the physical body, we have
Mhm,
the vital body, we have the supramental supramental body,
mhm.
and the mental body, and the bliss body. So the 5. So again, physical, mental, vital, supramental, bliss. And
Okay, so the way that you just said it there, that's the order of them. Not the first way you said it. The
uh,
first way you said it, you shifted super mental and vital, and they all got kind of put together. So let's say that again one more time, the order.
so physical is
Mhm,
at the base, right? It's what we can feel, what we sense, what we physical mass, bones, organs, right? Then we have our vital body, which is our chakras, our meridians, right? When we work on in an alternative medicine, we're working with the vital body. In traditional Chinese medicine, we're working with the vital body. Then we have the mental body. So the mental body is our thoughts, our beliefs, ideas, conditioned thinking. When we're working with a therapist or
emotions, right.
we're working with the mental body. Then we have the supramental body. So supramental body is a lot of like Carl Jung stuff or
Mhm,
stuff of archetypes, collective unconsciousness or collective
mhm,
um, more psychology of the masses, right? We
mhm,
So that's the supramental, where archetypes live. So if you've listened to our archetype videos, you've heard a lot about the supramental body already. That's a big part of what you and I talk about. And then
mhm,
body, and the bliss body is divine, source, universe, God, higher power. It's all the different words that we attribute to that oneness energy
mhm. Yep.
where we are at home and at peace and are comfortable and
Mhm.
heaven. You can whatever word you want to attribute to it.
Right. The only other thing that I wanna add into the mix based on what you said is I wanna bring in the idea of the conscious and the subconscious, because I feel like one thing like, I feel like folks have heard those words before, and so they know those words, they're familiar, and so the mental body is your conscious awareness,
Mm,
and the super mental body is your subconscious awareness. And so you may or may not have, a huge access to your subconscious awareness. You may have more access to your conscious awareness. You may have a small percentage of access to your conscious awareness. So I just want to equate those with the designations within quantum medicine that your consciousness is housed in your mental body and your subconscious is housed in your supermental body.
yes.
Um,
Thank you
all
for
right.
really helpful.
You're so welcome. I feel like what has kind of happened over, the last several decades is, people have been trying to come up with ways to describe certain things that are not necessarily like tangible in the physical world. And they've like everybody's kind of got their own language or definition or word that they associate with things. And
Mm,
what's happening during this time is that there's a move towards kind of more uniformity and more similar understanding. And so I want to make sure that people are able to connect those 2 things.
yeah, definitely.
All right, so next up, is the super mental body and kind of talking about, like you've mentioned already, that we talk a lot about the supramental body. We talk a lot about subconsciousness. We talk a lot about archetypes, and how you can work with that in terms of your healing efforts, your healing protocols, because part of what that is bringing your subconscious awareness into conscious awareness, which is where there are so many opportunities to heal. And not to say that there aren't opportunities to heal in your conscious awareness, because for some folks, that is where a lot of their work can be primarily for periods of time. Um, but I think for me, a lot of my work has been in the supermental body, in the subconscious, bringing it to conscious awareness, and then working on the integration piece of it, um, which has had the most benefits and has proved to be, the most profound and moving me forward in my life.
Yeah. Yeah, same. And yeah, in working with these bodies, I think most of us are so familiar with working with the physical. And
Mhm.
for me, and what I've really honed in my practice is paying attention to the physical in order to translate into what's happening with the mental, vital, supramental bliss.
Mhm.
Right? The physical body is such a translator. It, it's such a vessel for us to carry
Mhm.
the messages, in order for us to really listen. Because if we're having physical pain, it's very hard to ignore it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, and the thing is too, is that I know for me, you know, y you're talking about it in terms of, like, messages or, like, big, powerful messages. I know for me, it was very, like, subtle. Like, I would feel energy moving in my, like, right calf. And
Hmm.
I'd be like, "Oh, something's going on in my right calf." And then it would be this curiosity of like, okay, exploring like what is that energy movement connected to. So it doesn't have to be I broke my leg, or I threw my back out, or you know I broke a finger, or I jammed a finger. It doesn't have to be an extreme physical manifestation. It can be a I'm walking down the steps and I'm feeling energy moving within my body. So I guess I want to add on to the idea of messages into the idea of like alerts, like pay attention. Like you feeling that energy moving in your body is an alert that's trying to get your attention. And, at some point, it might be a level one and it might be very, very subtle. And then if you ignore it, then it's going to go to a level two and it might be a little bit more intense, then a level three, then a level four, then a level five. And that's where you might break your foot or break your leg or something because you ignored that energy that was moving or that energy that needed some attention. So I like, in addition to alerts, I just want to put, or the idea of messages, I want to put the idea of alerts in folks' minds.
Yeah, because for the physical body, so I think a lot of the times people get confused with this idea that it's immediate, right? So
Hmm.
more of what you're talking about is actually immediate, right? So for you to feel that shift, when I do energy work, either on myself or in session with somebody else, we feel, oh yeah, like you're saying, oh, I feel that in my back, or I feel
Mhm,
liver, or I feel it in my leg or my knee, right? You're feeling it immediately as you're working on whatever it.
mhm,
When it comes to physical ailments, a broken bone, cancer, a cold, right? Like many different layers and levels of ailments that we have, those take a lot longer to manifest in the body for them.
mhm,
So while that sense like you're talking about where you're so tuned in to feeling your vital energy, your vital,
Mhm.
you're aware of what's happening and you're giving it pause, and you're tuning in and you're finding out what's happening. When we're not tuned in, we and those and that energy moves and we're not paying attention to it, eventually it will load up, right? It will
Right.
get massive and it will turn into a tumor. It will get massive and it will cause us to break our foot. It will, right? Like it's it's
It's like it starts like, the way I think of it is it starts out like a drip in a faucet, right? And it's like, you can see the drip in the faucet, and you can be like, "Eh, do I wanna deal with that right now? Do I have time to deal with that right now? Do I need to call the plumber?" Or you can just be like, "Okay, I'm gonna let this drip be the way that it is."
don't get your bill until a month later. And
Right.
that's when you see the yes, 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 yes.
Right, and that's the thing, that's another thing, is that it can manifest in so many different ways. Like, it can manifest in terms of, this is alerting you to there's an issue with the pipe at the road, or it's gonna hit you in your pocket.
Mhm. Yeah, or
Yeah,
it's explosion of your pipes or something, right?
right, something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that that's something that I notice a lot of people like the desire or the thought that because I'm thinking something, it's going to immediately manifest. And that's not true. It takes time. The
Mhm.
physical manifestation takes time to come to fruition.
Right,
Not
which
because
is
right now, like uh, you know, I love myself. I'm gonna immediately like all my body's gonna feel loose and happy and easy. It's a process of every day, every moment, really bringing in that self love, bringing in gratitude for my body, for my spirit, for my sense of self, and slowly building that and clearing away whatever the previous thoughts were. And
right, right. And so then that brings it to, like, the daily practice, and building a daily practice that supports, you know, not only where you have a desire to be right now at this moment, but ultimately where you see yourself going. And so that is the work of quantum medicine, of energy medicine, of healing work. And that's the work that both you and I do with our clients.
yeah, and in
Which is
vision statement workshop and in our archetype workshop, that is really it. It's looking at the bigger picture and working with the supramental body and with the mental body, and both of those then link into the bliss. And it's, I mean, they all link together, but when the focus is, let's talk about percentages for a second. We've talked about
okay.
this. um the supramental body is really, the supramental and the bliss body are really the ones that are the biggest parts of the picture, right? So
Mhm.
supramental body is in charge of 40% of our reality.
Mhm.
The bliss is 43%, like
Right.
compared to the
That's
fifth.
83, right, that's
Yeah.
83% of our reality is in the supermental and the bliss,
Yes.
and
Oh yeah,
all
you're in
the
front of me. I'm like,
right. Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, it's amazing because so much of the focus is on, the the
right.
physical, the vital, the mental. And so it's like, and those are the smallest percentages of what we can have impact our reality.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. It's huge. So when we're working on what it is that we desire for ourselves,
Mhm.
and whether it's physical health, physical success, whatever that means to you, um, relationships, mental well-being, all those things start at that supramental layer and your relationship with the divine.
Mhm.
And what is that relationship like? Do you have any relationship with the divine? Do you have any faith? Do you have any connection? Um, that's such a big part. And it's a struggle for a lot of people. I know for me, I've struggled with it on and off, you know,
Mhm.
little. Um, I think most people do
I think
because,
most people, yeah, I think most
yeah,
people have at
it's
some point in time.
a natural place to be, right? To go, what is that? What is the divine?
Why am I here? What is this
Yeah,
about? Like, to
yeah,
ask all of those kind of big, profound questions.
yeah. Why do things happen as they do? Who created the space? Just those are so normal and so natural. So to work in that space and build that divine relationship, that's like that's a game changer. That
Mhm.
a total game changer. Um, and then to understand our subconsciousness, to bring the
Mhm.
subconsciousness, like you said, into consciousness, to go in that elevator and bring that information down. And it's not, you can't just like outpour it all at once. It's like little by little,
Mhm.
and go.
Because it has to be digested and it has to be integrated, and
Mm,
that's a big part of it.
yeah, yeah.
Cool.
So
All right. Well, let's break out the percentages one more time because we definitely talked about and mentioned the percentages, but let's
okay,
start from the bottom of the list like we
okay.
did at the beginning.
So the physical body is only 2% of reality, of our
Mhm.
existence. Again, that's our bones, our skin, our blood, our organs, reality as we see it. That's only 2%.
Mhm.
The vital body is 10%. So the vital body is the other chunkier part, and that's our chakras, our meridians, um, our auric field, um,
Mhm.
our emotions, our nervous system. Our nervous system is a big part of the vital body.
Mhm.
And then we have the mental body, which is 5%. And that's
Mhm.
our beliefs. That's what we work through when we're thinking about our mental chatter or our spinning mind. That's 5%. Then the supramental body, again, is 40%. So that's our subconscious, it's the collective consciousness, our
Mhm.
energy patterns. Um, and then the bliss body is 43%. So higher self, all is one, connectedness, God, force, divine energy, universal power, nature, Mother Earth, Gaia, all
All
the
of it.
all the names.
All the good stuff. All the good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just thank you for doing that. Thank you for going over those percentages for folks because I feel like it just it just shows me like how powerful we
Yeah.
are individually and how powerful we are collectively. And if we were able to get past the distraction and focus, like
Hmm.
we said, consistently over periods of time, decades, centuries,
Hmm.
what we would be able to create in the physical plane, what we'd be able to manifest in the physical plane, um, it would just be awesome.
I agree.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so this was a really nice overview of quantum healing, quantum medicine. Hopefully, we revisited this at a good time for folks, and also just to let you know that This is a primary focus of the work that Dr. Orr and myself do with our clients. It is the primary focus of the vision statement workshops, which we have some new dates coming up
Mm,
in September. So make sure you check out our link trees. And it's also the primary focus of our archetype workshop. And some of the folks who attended our summer archetype workshop series, we've already had some
oh,
amazing positive feedback from folks in
we're
terms of just
well,
learning about their archetypes and who they are. And and I had something happen last week with a client where they were like, I always knew that archetype was there, and then it was like giving a name to it. And then I was like, okay, well, let's go have a conversation with. And it was like the clarity of the conversation and like the connection. It's like it had always been there, but just like the how powerful it was to give give the space, the time for the connection and the communication and the clarity and like, okay, so this is the room that we're going to meet in. This is the room that we're going to connect in. And I'm not going to have you sitting in a dark room, you know, on, on a brick on the floor. I'm gonna like turn the lights on. I'm gonna bring in some furniture and we're gonna sit on a couch with a cup of tea and have conversations.
yeah.
So it's just so
Whew,
profoundly transformative that work. And I mean this was in less than 24 hours.
that
Like
yeah,
just completely shifted and changed the trajectory that this person is on going forward. And yeah, it's why I love what I do so much.
that's so cool. Me too. I love it. I love
Yeah,
it.
yeah, it's amazing. All right. Anything
Okay.
else you want to add before we close up?
Um, I don't think so. Blah, 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 blah. It just makes me want to like revisiting this makes me want to like do more about each body, and there's so much more
Okay.
than today, obviously. But um, yeah, to be
Yeah.
continued.
Well, I mean, maybe that's what we do for the rest of August and September is kind of like, is break each out and have
Yeah,
more detailed conversations. But I would encourage folks to check out the links that are going to be below this video because they're very informative and they make things a little bit clearer. And it'd be good to have that in front of you while you're listening to this video. Yeah,
yeah.
because it's a lot. It's a lot of good info.
Awesome. Okay.
All right.
See you soon.
Have a great day. Have a great week, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.